Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Welcome back to another stellar edition of the All Elite Wrap-Up right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. I'm good old Mike BELCASTER, as always, and joining me this week, this lovely human being, my co-host with the most from Shot of Nostalgia.
Live from the No Sale Studios, this is the Ace of the Tavern, Ace Field Retro, and I'm knocking your dick into the dirt.
Ooh,
let's
go.
My One of the best quotes ever, by the way. Hearing that in a promo is fantastic.
It was nice, man. It was good. You gotta love some traditional dirt knocking. I'm all for it, man.
so good, man.
Yeah, man. No, great episode of Dynamite tonight. We got a little bit of news. I'm gonna let you take the helm on the news, man, because this is a big deal for the Turnbuckle Tavern brand as well as the AEW brand.
Yeah, so if you guys saw the news, it dropped earlier today. At Acefield Retro has a new graphic for myself and Mullet.mania Colton. We're going to be coming back to you with Honor Society because we have Ring of Honor and the TV details have been revealed. Finally, we're going to get Ring of Honor TV on Honor Club March the 2nd on a Thursday. We do not have times, but we do have the date. We don't know if it's going to be available all day Thursday, if it's going to air like similar to how Dynamite airs at 8 o'clock. We don't know. All we do know is Honor Society will be following that on a Thursday night. So I think that's what we're going to do is to make some room. I know that scheduling's an issue, but it's a good issue to have. We have so much content on the tavern. We'll figure out where to put it. But Honor Society is returning. We don't know the length. We don't know the format, but we are going to discuss all the fallout from ROH, the news, the results, the rumors and innuendo, everything that goes into it. I'm looking very much forward to working with Colton. He's a great guy.
Hell yeah, dude. I had the pleasure of being on a debate with Colton. And he's an awesome guy, smart mindset for the business. I think this is going to be a stellar kickoff to Honor Society, man. Can't wait. I'm stoked to see Ring of Honor TV, man. It's going to be really cool. Super pumped for that. And Thursdays is a good night for some hot fights, man.
It's going to join personally my routine of watching Wrestling Open, which is put on by Beyond on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. And also it's going to be joining Impact on Thursdays as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on Thursdays. I know it's a kind of an anticlimactic result of where it was going to be. Everyone talked about maybe HBO Max or maybe having it on a TV deal, but at least we're getting storyline progression of where ROH titles and roster and everyone's going to live. We can finally have them moving on towards Supercard of Honor and building up towards the biggest show of the year for ROH.
Hell yeah. Hopefully that means I could get Satman Singh off my fucking weekly Dynamite. But no, I'm looking forward to it, man. And of course, the build up to the pay-per-views are going to be awesome. I believe full force, all faith in Tony Khan to handle Ring of Honor with nothing but love and pride. And it's going to be good shit, man. Super pumped.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing because this is the way I was brought into the tavern was originally with Honor Society. And that's how I came in. We were doing the coverage of ROH in depth. And then eventually when Tony purchased it, which will be, I think, a year going forward, right? From March 2nd, I think that's when it was purchased. So it's kind of an anniversary of the purchase of ROH. But I think we're finally going to have a new format. It's going to be similar to the AEW wrap-up show. If it's an hour-long TV show, I don't expect to stay on here and do a long conversation. Maybe it'll be 45 minutes to an hour worth of conversation, but you never know. They're going to have their own content and their own brand is going to live elsewhere. And that's an amazing thing. We're going to get to have Mark Briscoe. We're going to get all the storylines. We get the TV title defended, the world title defended. Maybe we can have it feel like its own entity.
I'm here for it, man. It's going to be a good time. Can't wait.
You mentioned Satnam Singh. You want to just get right into it?
I'm not here for fucking drops. I'm not here for all that shenanigans. We'll get right into it, man. We opened up Dynamite kind of lightning hot. I wouldn't say it was a bad match. We got Orange Cassidy, The Acclaimed, and Daddy Ass versus Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt. It was fun, man. I thought it was pretty good. The rap, fantastic as always. I mean, Max Caster calling out Lockdown from TNA and talking shit about Jerry Jarrett, who just passed, which kudos to Jeff for fucking letting that one get out there. It was good stuff, man. I thought it was done very well, very fun, man.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. First off, and at the top of the match, it's kudos to and condolences to the Jarrett family for the loss of Jerry Jarrett. The influence that Jerry Jarrett had on the wrestling business is, it's going to be felt for a very, very long time. And the fact that Jarrett was able to get in the ring and do this match with everything going on in his family, I'm sure the only way, and we talked about this similar with Mark Briscoe and losing Jay, the only way you know how to kind of cope is doing the things you love and you have passion for. So I'm sure Jeff, it was a no-brainer for him to get in the ring and do what he did. But he went out there and had a good match, and he put over the team that deserved to win, Orange Cassidy and the Acclaim, back in the winning circle and figuring out what exactly we are going to be doing with the tag team championship, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
I'm curious what your thoughts are with how they did this and how it makes sense. And as far as the Acclaim getting their rematch in a fatal 4-way match, is kind of bizarre.
It is very bizarre. Before we get into that, I did want to hop out and give a shout out to a great moment, which was Orange Cassidy getting, well, eye to chest with Satnam Singh. I thought it was a really cool moment, man. Yeah, like it could have. Cassidy's got so much potential, and I mean, he's great. They're doing a good job with him, but I think putting him in little pieces like that is just awesome to see, and really gets him rowdy, man. I dig it. But yeah, crazy that we're getting this clusterfuck of a tag match at Revolution.
Yeah, and we're gonna jump around a bit. We have the kind of the structure of what's going to be filling the Revolution. What I do enjoy is that we go back to all the way to All Out in September. The card wasn't filling out, but it seems like Revolution is already filled out. We still have 2 more weeks to build on that pape push.
Yeah.
So we have these 2 battle royals. So on Dynamite next week on the 22nd, we're going to be having a traditional tag team battle royal to see who advances the Revolution. So we're going to have the Best Friends, Jared and Jay Lethal, who we just mentioned before, the Lucha Brothers, Butcher and Blade, Tony Nese and Ari Daivari, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. And then I think the next week we're going to be having a casino battle royal, which is a just different format for the battle royal, but different set of teams. Don't know where they're going here. It just seems like the obvious choice was you Guns Acclaimed. Seems like they're going to have some sort of shady finish to keep the titles on the Guns.
Yeah, or maybe we'll get Swerve and we'll get a tag team that we're not even expecting to be in the match, go in and go over. It sounds very interesting. The Battle Royal concept is kind of mind-boggling. You not necessarily need it. What happened to the rankings, man?
It's also, you know why, dude? It's because we're doing WrestleMania 14 in a sec with the Battle Royal of the tag teams. It's serendipity of Tony Khan. It's like, wait, Shot Nostalgia 1998 WWF. We have to do what they did. Tag team championship is being awarded to a team that is in a battle royal. So that's exactly why they're doing that.
I'm not going to argue with that. That's a good one. And we know Tony Khan loves watching Shot of Nostalgia right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern on Fridays, man. And I can't wait to get into that. But let's get through this. We'll chill a little down the line. But let's just say hi to the homies in the crowd. We got Tyson Trevino hanging out. Hey, yo. We got Austin. We got Tyson and Austin.
What up?
Rock'em Sock'em Wrestler. I love it, man. So good. So good. Austin giving some love to Shot of Nostalgia. Absolutely, man. Just a fire year for pro wrestling. I'll echo it on the show, and I'll say it here too. One of the highest points of pro wrestling, I think, in our lifetime. And I don't think we will ever get to that level of craziness, that pandemonium that was going on. It's final.
Dude, and it's so funny. You've been texting me. I don't want to jump too far out of the realm of what we're talking about, but your Tyson obsession has been fantastic. I've been loving watching Tyson documentaries because of WrestleMania 14 build. Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I love these overlong YouTube videos that are like 6 hours and it's all going through everything, but it's really in depth. They go through his training, growing up, his trainer, his first couple matches, him becoming this sociable, favorable boxer, man. And it's so badass. I'm in love with Mike Tyson right now, and I really am. Especially, he's so good. He's the champ. But it's fucking awesome that we have these little documentaries out there that we could just brush up on shit like that. And I highly recommend it. Anybody trying to figure out some shit, go watch some Mike Tyson documentaries, man. You'll be petting pigeons and petting tigers in no time. It's a good time.
So the next match we had, dude, here was this ROH champion Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley teaming with Rush and Preston Vance in a Texas Tornado match. So this was in the right spot. They were in Laredo, Texas. So obviously doing a Texas Tornado match in Texas seems appropriate. This match started out awkward. But damn, once it got started, it really got started. And of course, you get all the things you need in this match. The Moxley match, there's blood. And then Preston Vance was gushing blood, which added to the aesthetic. And I really am enjoying this heel version of Preston Vance. And I didn't think I would, but he fits really, really nicely with Rush.
Yeah, 100%. I think Preston Vance is a shining star just waiting to shoot. Like, this guy is phenomenal, full package. He's got the look. Dig the new gear. I really do. I think like as a a full package wrestler. He's got everything, man. Great match, like you said. It was started off a little awkward, little not necessarily having the chemistry yet, but you would expect that with 4 guys that probably haven't really worked too much with each other. Really badass though. I thought it was a fun Texas death match. Wasn't as great as like this whole Dynamite wasn't nowhere near as good as the last couple of weeks, but I thought it was still very good. And yeah, this was fun to watch, man. Mox just gushing all over the place. Like, you could still see the blood on the floor afterwards. It was fun. Just really good, man. I thought Vance is the shining star out of this match. We got Roosh. We got a lot of great things here. We got Claudio. We got Mox. But I think Preston Vance just kind of has that fire up his ass, man, and it looks good. I'm glad he kind of stepped away from the Dark Order. Got some heat. It's looking good. It's doing good, man.
Yeah, and I think the build too, and Supercard of Honor, as we mentioned, is going to be at the end of March near WrestleMania weekend. And I think they're ticketing and they're building around, unless I'm reading it wrong, Roosh is going to be challenging Claudio, and I think that match is going to rip. I think having Claudio take on a challenger that they've been building up. I know Roosh was on the losing end against BRYAN Danielson, but he held his own. He looked great. I think he has some momentum behind him. And again, they were in a losing effort here again, but they were holding their own against the champion. And you can always blame the rules of the, obviously a Texas tornado, anything could happen. But Roosh on the other end, if you can build him up, this is a dude that was a main eventer in Ring of Honor. One of the guys that they built around. So it wouldn't shock me to see them heating him up to get him ready for Claudio and have a long program to establish ROH TV in a good moment. So I think this is more than just a one-off Texas tornado match. I think they really want to build Roosh as the challenger to Claudio coming up at the biggest pay-per-view of the year for ROH.
100%, man, and awesome stuff. I'm excited to see Roosh's future. It's going to be weird. Do you think we're going to have like a lack of talent now because they're going to switch it up? So I mean, we obviously both rosters are very deep and rich and in depth, but I mean, we're going to be missing some key components on Wednesday nights. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an adjustment. There's going to be talent, and maybe it's still going to be a lot of the ROH influence from time to time, or maybe they'll have AEW guys pop up on ROH. I definitely don't want that to happen, but judging by Tony Khan, he may use ROH as an opportunity to give reps for some guys. And I know we have the house shows starting soon, so they're going to have that as an option for getting these guys out there. But I would imagine there'd be some guys that will be exclusive to ROH to incentivize fans to go out and get Honor Club and watch the show on a weekly basis. Because if you could see them on Dynamite, why would you tune over to Honor Club? So a guy like Roosh, or making other guys too, like a guy like Claudio, people do like to watch. So if you only can watch him on Honor Club, it makes it more appealing to tune over on Thursday nights and get your Claudio fix. So I would say you're right. I think it's going to look a lot different, but for the better. There's some breathing room. We've been asking for this to relieve the pressure of this bloated roster. I think we really need to have separate entities, and it's going to be amazing because there's going to be guys that have been buried by this mountain of talent. You pull like a Samoa Joe out, put him back on ROH. That's a huge slot that someone else is going to pick up.
100%, man. We got Austin coming in here. When does the show start and what time for Ring of Honor? All we know is Thursdays, right? We don't have a necessary time
March
spot.
2nd. Yeah, March 2nd, but they don't have the time yet. It may be available all day. It may just be one of those things that drops on Thursday and you can watch it anytime you want. Similar to like one of those or it may just actually air live, similar to like on YouTube with NWA Power, where it just drops. My gut is that's what the case is. It's probably going to be, give it a time, 7 p.m. They're going to air from 7 to 8, and then Honor Society is going to go on as soon as it drops, for a half hour out. So
it's going to be hot, man. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be cool. But I got to re-up my Honor Club membership, man. I'm going to
shoot on Honor Club for a second because, dude, I did that shit. And I downloaded it. I wanted to watch. I actually did it when Jay Briscoe passed. I wanted to watch all the Jay Briscoe matches. There's a lot on YouTube because ROH YouTube is awesome. They have a lot of full match compilations. They have a lot of the Punk matches on playlists. It's great. But as far as Honor Club goes, there's a huge thing with just the clunkiness of the app. It's disjointed. And the other thing is they don't have the rights to the music. Obviously, ROH was just pirating music they were using. I think Europe, they were using Final Countdown. They were doing a whole bunch of stuff where music is not their thing. So instead of going through all of the content and picking out the music, they mute it. So you think that there's no sound. And then once the music stops, commentary picks back up and they make the noise in the ring. So it was a little confusing. And matches are out of order. So you can go back to Death Before Dishonor and you have to go content to find it, and everything's not in order. It's not great. So come on, hire a whole bunch of guys, dude, Tony Khan, and put this together the right way before we get 3 weeks. You got 3 weeks, put it back together.
Yeah, listen, it's no Impact Plus, okay? Still trying to get my fucking password. But, hopefully their customer service is much better. Where are they filming Ring of Honor? I'm not sure. I think they're gonna be doing, along with
Traveling with
with
Dynamite, it's going to be the
yeah,
same AEW Dark Table.
I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. I'm pumped, man. So I'm looking forward to that. We had, this weird backstage attack from Sabin, Butcher, Blade, uh, on Hangman. I thought that was really weird. Just a odd mix of people going after him.
Yeah, I think they were just building up that Kip Sabian match and building up obviously the program coming up that we saw at the end with Moxley and Dark Order. But you're right, it was strange to see. I love when Butcher and Blade are on my TV in any capacity. So to get them in the mix, dude, I would actually sign up for Butcher and Blade winning one of those battle royals and being in that tag title picture. Why not? But
Absolutely.
you're right, that
I
was
think
weird.
those are shining stars. Butcher and Blade, they need to be in the tag team scene a little bit more.
Dude, the Hangman thing was weird though, because it felt like they were building towards maybe a union between Moxley and Hangman, that they have mutual
Yeah.
respect. Obviously, we all know they need to have one more match. You don't want to end the feud with a roll up, but
Yeah.
it had like it had the makings of maybe the BCC saving him after being attacked. I don't know, or earning respect after getting beaten down. We'll get to the promo in a little bit, but it definitely
Yeah.
had a weird feel to it.
It was definitely a little off. And speaking of promos, Wardlow does a nice sit down with good old Jim Ross. We're going to talk about Wardlow and all of his past here. Awesome. I love those little
It was
packages.
great.
Yeah, it really paints a lot of depth for the character that Wardlow is, and not saying he needs character, but it's good to kind of get into the personal space of him and see where he came from. And I don't know, I just thought it was a really nice way to push the match and also give more development for Wardlow's personality. I mean, the guy comes out there, obviously he's good, but I thought this brought like it down to me and you kind of level, and I thought it was nice, man. Very, very well done.
It was definitely a different side of Wardlow, and I did enjoy the fact that they put some backstory with the Samoa Joe, made some more heat there. And these little segments are so well done. It was such a short period of time and effective use of the time, being able to tell that story. And I would assume there's some nuggets of truth in it, or even if it wasn't truthful, like we have that sometimes turned up to 11.
Yeah.
It definitely was something that gives it more meaning. Of course, it was disrespectful for him to cut his hair in the first place, but now that you know how disrespectful it was, now you want to see them tear each other apart. So yeah, I mean, this is a feud that seems like it's never ending, but it's one of those situations too. And I'm curious what the guys in the flagship are saying. Guys can catch the flagship tomorrow morning on Turnbuckle Tavern's audio, wherever you can find it. I'm curious what they say about this Wardlow and Samoa Joe feud, because it felt like it was over. Then they moved on to Darby, and now they're back together. I don't know. It seems like we're kind of with Wardlow. They don't know where to go with him since they turned him on MJF. They don't have really a path for him. And getting the TNT title in the first place was a kiss of death for him. It was just like ice cold, put him on ice. He has no momentum anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he barely defended the title, and when he did, it was in predictable matches. It was powerbomb contests and shit like that. I hope they do find a spot for this. I hope that they do figure out a game plan. And again, maybe taking some of this Ring of Honor roster off of the Dynamite card will open things up a little more, wiggle room for people to walk through the hallways and get their faces on TV a little bit more. But yeah, I'm not against the putting, Wardlow and Joe back into a program together. But I mean, it was weird how they did that. They didn't have to kill the momentum Darby had going for him, but Darby probably needed a fucking break after everything, carrying the company for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is too with Wardlow, and again, this is something that AEW and Tony Khan specifically has struggled with creatively, is they have the build up and the moment perfectly, but then carrying it on after. Like we've seen huge moments happen where, go back to Hangman winning the championship. That was a beautiful story done. And then the reign felt like it fell flat. I know we kind of can look at it with rose colored glasses now and say it was a better run, but in the moment, those defenses were sort of lame. It came off as there was no real integral story that you kind of wanted from Hangman. And how could it match what he did with Kenny? It felt like that Kenny story was building for 2.5 years. Yeah. So I get that. Same thing with Wardlow, though. Wardlow turned on MJF. He seemed like he was destined to be that Batista, that rise to the main event and put the title on him. I don't know. It just felt like they put him in place and put him on ice, give the TNT title, and winning championships in AEW for a little bit there until Darby won the TNT title felt like a kiss of death. It was like you weren't going to be on TV. You're going to be booked like shit, and you're never going to be seen until you lose the title. Like that's what it was with Wardlow.
Yeah, I feel like they need to figure out a stipulation for that TNT belt to make it like maybe it's just an open challenge belt until we get to a pay-per-view or something, and maybe behind the scenes stipulation, nothing like on paper. But I feel like it gets lost. Darby really lit it back up again, and then it's just like in this spot again. I mean, we didn't even see it on TV except for that fucking package. Like it's just like all right, whatever.
I think you're right. I think you're onto something with the open challenge. And if I look at, even to compare this to the WWE, the US title wasn't so prominent when John Cena was doing the open challenge, and go back to TNT open challenge with Cody Rhodes. The title felt like it was meaningful, having guys from other companies come in, or just independent wrestlers at large coming in and working programs with Cody Rhodes for a short period of time. I don't know. I think that's something they really struggle with. They don't have the ability to build these long-term programs outside of the World Championship. That being said, like the World Championship the program with Danielson and MJF has been perfectly done.
Yeah.
I want to see that translated to the All Atlantic Championship. I want to see that translated to TNT Championship. Hell, even the Women's Championship feels like it's on ice. It's just one-off. TBS is just defend. There's no long program. So I don't know what the answer is, but it just seems like there needs to be more longevity in the storylines, not just hot-shotting titles.
Absolutely. And again, hopefully with Ring of Honor starting up soon, then we'll get some clear skies on that one. Next up we had Mark Briscoe versus Josh Woods, man. This was refreshing. This was really nice. Fucking awesome to see two guys that know each other very well go at each other, just beating the piss out of each other. Very fun. Really good match, man.
Yeah, I thought this was an excellent showing from Mark Briscoe. He was as composed as the week before. It looks like he belongs on Dynamite. So a lot of the Kung Fu Chicken stuff, the Sussex Co. There's a lot of all his spots. He pulled out the Jay Driller at one point in this match. And the other thing I really enjoyed was the Lucha Brothers coming up and supporting the Briscoes. So I think that's an interesting tie too. Like with the Lucha Brothers, I know the Lucha Brothers were in ROH for a bit, and I'm sure they wrestled the Briscoes all over the planet. I was supposed to see him at House of Glory. I know I've been saying, if you guys listen to Shot Nostalgia, I've been ranting and raving about wanting to see them live and in person. But I do like that tie. And then also having Briscoe on TV again.
Yeah.
Wrestling a guy that he actually is familiar with, as a history with the tag teams with Josh Woods. I think that was a really good thing. And people were reacting to Mark. I think he was getting a good reaction. And
100%.
I thought this was a great match. And I honestly really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's cool to see Mark finally on TV, doing it. It sucks that he's not there with Jay, man. But I mean, the guy is just killing it. He's got his shit together still. I mean, after all the tragedy that he's been through, he comes off stronger. It looks great on TV. It's good to see him, working these awesome matches. And I love, the little sentiment at the end of, they cut him in the turnbuckle pad again. And he's like, Jay, I love you, brother. I'm carrying it on, man. It's always going to be, like one of those kind of feel good things to see him succeeding. I don't think there's no other way around it. It's awesome that Mark gets to be out there doing his thing, man.
So speaking of obviously ROH and Mark Briscoe, he seems to be synonymous with the brand and a guy you really want to build around. What do you do with the tag team championship? Do you retire the tag team lineage as to where it is and then repick it up with a new set of belts, or do you have Mark drop it, pick a partner? Like, it's a really tough decision to make. And obviously I think Mark should be at the forefront of making the decision.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
I would like to see him kind of do both. I'd like to see them retire the new belt or the old belts. And, either Mark picks up a new partner or he just defends him on his own for a little bit. I mean, it sounds silly, but it would be a cool thing to see, like, damn, Mark Briscoe's so fucking crazy. He could carry these belts for, a pay-per-view at a time. Like it would be an awesome storytelling mechanism to have, but I think they should retire these beautiful titles that they have. They need to go out on the year they had. I mean, you were going back and forth between FTR and the Briscoes. It was amazing, but I don't think you could top a year like that. And it would be a nice, refreshing thing to kind of bust out new belts and, just give the whole tag division a breath of fresh air. I don't know. I don't know who Mark would pick as a partner even, it's the Briscoes were so synonymous together. It would be weird to see them wrestle with anybody else.
Yeah, I think, respect aside too, all the titles need to be changed. They need the new logo on it. Like the new ROH logo is not on any of these belts. And I'd imagine once a TV deal's, the TV, show is in place, I think we're going to be having the new belts. And it fits the fact that the Briscoes are the last ones to ever hold those classic ROH tag belts. And I don't know what you do. I mean, maybe you just have Mark drop them and go off on a singles career, or maybe he can award it to the next team, have a tournament for them. But I don't even know if ROH has enough tag teams to build around. It's a very challenging things to do, especially when you want to live up to the legacy of Jay and Mark.
Absolutely. I mean, even a Jay Briscoe like memorial tournament would be a cool idea
Very
to
cool.
kick it off and get everybody into it. But yeah, I'm interested to see how Tony goes with that. It's going to be very, very. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool though. I'm excited to see just Mark being used though, and finally being on TV and still keeping himself. You know, he's not changed at all. It's just like watching Mark Briscoe, 6 months ago.
I'm just curious too, as well with the 6-man titles. Like we mentioned, the tag division was sort of thin, and obviously they're going to cherry pick from AEW. The guys are not being used. I'm sure there's guys they have in mind from AEW and also the independents at large that they could probably use for ROH. But I think there's going to be there's going to be a mass movement. I mean, they may need to sign new talent to come over to ROH to fill out. If they're doing a 6-man division and they're doing a tag division, there's got to be a lot of guys to come over. I don't know if you just can categorically take guys that are on the undercard on AEW, because that's the aesthetic you don't want. You don't want it to look like you're just taking guys that are like the lower level AEW guys. That's the delicate balance we all talked about on Honor Side in the beginning. You don't want to feel like a developmental, similar to what NXT is now. You want it to be on an equal playing ground as AEW. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think you got to go out and get some more talent.
Absolutely. I will be very, very appalled if I have to see the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy go for the trios titles on Ring of Honor television, because we're going to have a huge problem where the titles are going to just need a revamp on both sides of things. I think if AEW doesn't keep their talent pool rich a little bit, and a lot of people go over to Ring of Honor, what are we doing with all these fucking titles we have? All Atlantic, I mean, trios. They have a hard enough time booking the trios matches as it is.
Yeah, and we'll get to what they're going to do for the card next week, but or on Rampage this Friday. So very, very interesting match with the Elite defending against Top Flight and AR Fox again.
Yeah. What else do we have here? We get the MJF promo.
Well, we had Paquette sit down with Adam Cole first. So
totally forgot about that. It was I don't know. That felt like it was just let's get Adam Cole on TV.
Yeah, happy-go-lucky Adam Cole. I don't know. I mean, I'm here for Adam Cole being back on TV, but happy-go-lucky Adam Cole is not the one I want. I want Adam Cole that's fired up, the one we saw in the original promo. So this just seems like he has a new lease on life, which he probably does. That's probably a shoot on his end. Like he doesn't have headaches and doesn't want to throw up anymore from the concussions.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he's just happy to be alive, but I just need him in the ring, damn it. I just need him in the ring.
Yeah, I don't know, like, if they're just trying to garner sympathy for him or whatever, but like, he's not a character that needs sympathy. I don't need to feel bad about Adam Cole. Man, I'm just happy that my left eye goes this way and stays that way. Like it was almost like, I don't know. It made sense to have him out there, but I feel like they should have kept the hurrah behind him instead of pulling this like, man, yeah, my head was really banged up. I feel really bad. Like we get it. We know how bad concussion shit is. Maybe not the casual does, but I don't know.
I think it should be. I mean, he should be wrestling at Revolution. I think if you brought him back at this point, he should be cleared to go. If he's not, then what was the point of bringing him back for that promo?
Yeah, and who's he going to work? Like
maybe one of like the dream matches, similar like the Punk run. Like Punk wrestled, Darby Allin because he wanted to wrestle a young guy. Maybe Adam Cole gets that a little bit of a run now, where he's like, I want to handpick guys. Maybe it'll be, who knows? It could be Darby himself. You know what I mean? Like he wants to wrestle guys that he wants to put over, or guys that he wants to learn from. I don't know, but that's probably he's going to be on that like savvy, wily veteran run that Punk was in the beginning.
I am very looking forward to Adam Cole without Undisputed with them. Like I really think he needed to get away from that, and I think that really hindered his debut. I mean, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, great guys, great talent. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Like it's awesome, but I felt like they were holding them, like all of them together were holding each other back on this new journey in AEW. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with the freedom of having a loose Adam Cole by himself, man.
Agreed, man. I think like in ROH, if people are not initiated and aware of the ROH run, like he was doing his own thing and he got himself over to the point where he's the hottest star in wrestling that WWE circled on the calendar and said, we need him on our roster in NXT. And then he forced his way through NXT being their champion. And obviously Vince McMahon saw his size and said, absolutely fucking not. But people forget, like he kind of felt secondary to the BRYAN DANIELSON debut and they booked him horribly. Let's be honest. Like he you couldn't have booked a guy worse, in my opinion, as far as Bryan Danielson. I mean, Adam Cole goes. So
100%.
I think it's like everybody gets a fresh slate. Let's do it over again. Let's get Adam Cole back up to the heights that he used to be at this point.
I think Tony Khan knows his shit with Adam Cole. It's not like, he wasn't a fanboy. So I hope that they put him back in the good graces that he once was, especially with his Ring of Honor run. He was fantastic, man.
Yeah.
So damn good. But yeah, again, pointless promo, I thought, but good to see Adam Cole back.
Yeah.
Let's get you in the fucking ring bell. But yeah, then we had MJF come out. The best use of picture-in-picture is MJF bantering with the fans. I will fucking say that. It was the best thing. It's just fun when, flipping people, throwing his gum at the kid on the ramp, grabbing the dude's phone and throwing it. Like, I was like, damn, man, very, very fun stuff. MJF promos are on fire. I didn't know where he was going with his special guest at the end of it. I thought he was going to maybe call out a steal. But no, I thought it was good. Little fun stuff there, like little call outs, like talking shit about his promo with Punk, and like, kind of calling out the fans a little bit more, talking shit about Danielson. I thought Christopher Daniels I was interested to see where that was going, because seeing somebody come out of Daniels' stature and get into the ring with MJF, like, of course it had to be. He padded the lope, man. That's exactly what he did. He gave me a fat stack of cash, and we could sit out here and talk shit all day. Interesting. I'm pumped for this match. I cannot wait to see MJF and Danielson get in the ring together and just fucking go at it. It's going to be amazing.
I did really much enjoy Christopher Daniels here. I thought it was the perfect sort of, I don't know, parallel to Bryan Danielson to lead us into the pay-per-view, and the exact opposite, the antithesis, if you will, of MJF in a lot of ways, where you have a guy like MJF who he had his run in the indies. Don't let anybody fool you. But Christopher Daniels, I love that they reference the King of the Indies tournament in 2001 that eventually was what created ROH, the AWF tournament that Bryan Danielson won. And when that was seen, that's when they had this idea of there is a market for this wrestling that people want to watch, that they're so desperate to find. Yeah. And ROH filled a huge void for a lot of people for a very long time. That void is being now filled by AEW, and WWE has good wrestling now. Let's not be naive. They have a lot of talented wrestlers. We mentioned it on Wrestling Tonight. 4 of the 5 guys at the top of the card are ROH guys. Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes is an ROH guy for sure. Seth Rollins is up there, so we have guys up on the top of the card that are, can work. And yes, of course, they changed their style a little bit, but point being is that pro wrestling at this point is thriving as far as work rate goes. Same couldn't be said when ROH was built, because people just, there was nowhere to find work rate. It was all about sports entertainment.
Yeah, no. And listen, it was a cool callback, man. And yeah, we could sit here and praise both guys to the roof. I thought it was a really awesome little program together. I thought a nice little segment. Really enjoyed the shit out of it.
And Christopher Daniels' eye is still not healed. Is that a forever thing now?
I think he's fucked, man. and who would have thought? Because I mean, like, that was one of my favorite tag matches too. But man, I can't. It's so hard to see him like that.
Yeah, I love that Danielson, was told to be a sponge of wrestling knowledge, and I thought for sure it was a layup for Christopher Daniels to say that MJF is a leech. But I also thought we're going to get Christopher Daniels busted open. Like, he put him in the salt of the earth, and obviously Danielson made the save. But I thought we were going to see like sort of a killer instinct of MJF, similar to what we saw with Punk, with him destroying him. But I guess the writing was on the wall when he wasn't wearing white. He was wearing the Easter purple, perfect for Easter brunch. That was what MJF was wearing.
Weird lighting too for the MJF promo. Like, it's that weird offset purple, like
very WWE, like, very WWE,
very lavendery. It smelled like essential oils in the arena. Everybody was so excited. But it was like I said, you can't really get a bad MJF promo. This was really fun. Good shit, man.
We talked about this on Wrestling Tonight. So Chad and I were predicting about the amount of falls, and I think we probably should have like maybe over under with the Tavern, do a little prop bets. Do you see MJF tapping Bryan Danielson at any point in any of the falls?
I'll give him one. That's all. I'll give him one salt of the earth, because the arm
they've been really hyping up the shoulder being hurt, and Danielson has to preserve himself. So I agree with you. And MJF getting another legit fall, or the rest are going to be absolutely just cheating the ring, low blow, maybe a roll up? I don't know.
And I would really like to see them go put Danielson as the underdog in it. Have MJF like win 3 right away.
Wow.
And then Danielson's got to be the guy that Danielson is and overcome the odds. And I think it would be really good in-ring storytelling. And MJF could be like, I got the up. I don't, cocky MJF shit. And that'll get into his head and like get a complete turn on it. I think it would be fantastic. A great psychology for a match. So damn good.
I love that idea. And honestly, pulling that thread, I'm thinking of the Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan match against Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series a few years back,
yes,
where he absolutely got decimated and then made a comeback. That would be really, really good. I think you're onto something. If I want to piggyback on what you said, I think have him go down 3-0, have him go all the way back to 3-2 and just come up short. Like that's it. Or
that would be so good.
Or bring it back to 3-3 and then MJF pulls out a cheap win.
Yeah, I would love it, man. I think that's the way you have to do it, right? You want to tug the heartstrings of all the fans, and that would be beautiful, man. So let's put my Booker hat back on.
I love it. Leave that hat on, damn it.
Right, it was good. And talk about okay things. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry versus Brian Cage. I have no. Brian Cage is just not doing anything for me, man. I could care less to see him on my TV, and this was no exception. He's great in the ring, amazing performer, fucking could hit all the moves, do all the spots, looks like $1 million. I just got nothing for him, man. He's got no character whatsoever.
I had some high aspirations for this match when I saw they were coming out and locking up because they did wrestle at Winter is Coming this year, and it just wasn't good. And I think a lot of it was because of picture in picture. And as much as praise as we gave picture in picture, or having MJF and using it for the entrance where you can just see things that are non-important. You really don't need to hear what's going on. They use it appropriately during that promo. This was an example of not being able to use it. They have some good chemistry. We saw that they were able to kind of get some things going, but you're right. I think Brian Cage feels a little bit slower. And I know that he's getting a little bit more love in the news with Chris Jericho wants to be re-signed and he's getting a little bit more momentum, but his place is on the ROH card. And I think he could be a main eventer there. And I'm not saying I love what he can do, but I think you're right. I think he feels misplaced with AEW, and putting over Jungle Boy is kind of what he's been doing here. And I know a rebirth for him in ROH would be much needed for everybody.
100%. I could not agree more. I mean, the only thing impactful he did was debut, and I feel like they just let him.
And he had
slide
pink eye at the time too. He had the Bob Costas pink eye in the Olympics, the casino ladder match.
It's weird, right? But so, the guy could be a star. I think he's just got to get on the right platform, and I don't think it's an AEW. A Ring of Honor would be great. He fits that WWE build, I think, so damn well. He's a guy I wouldn't mind seeing go to WWE. And let him go test out the waters there. He's big. He's fucking very athletic. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
It's like you gave Batista Rey Mysterio's moveset in like SmackDown versus Raw. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah.
Because when he goes, like when he wrestles in AAA, like he goes off and does things. He wrestles under a mask. I'm pretty sure under he wore the Thanos mask when they did like that special Marvel match. Yeah. He wrestled under the Thanos mask and he was like flipping around. It was insane. So he can do crazy shit. I just think he hasn't been showcased. And there's a certain aesthetic that is when you lose and lose and lose and lose, the audience of AEW just don't give a shit anymore because everybody knows you're losing. So how much does a win really mean when Jungle Boy gets it? So it's almost like, why even do the match at this point? If you know Brian Cage is going to lose, that means you knew Jungle Boy was going to win. It just seems like a lost point. Just like, don't even do the match.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like Jungle Boy is one of those guys that's fallen victim of like that just floating around. Like they don't know what to do with him. They know he's a star. They know he can be a star. Like, what happened to Luchasaurus? What the fuck's going on with it?
Well, dude, the thing with Luchasaurus is he's in the legal issues with the mask at this point because EFX is. So maybe they're going to put, whatever his name, Austin Matherson out with no mask, or they're going to come out with a new mask. Like they're stuck now. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
I think they should have thought about the new mask when they turned them and just.
But this was a huge issue. This was an issue when they were a tag team. Like they had a chance to change it when he turned heel, but they kept the same aesthetic of the mask because they said it was the moneymaker.
That's stupid. Dumb.
So before we get to Christian coming, though, he kept pointing to his waist. Is it All Atlantic Championship? Is it the TNT Championship? Or is he targeting MJF? Because to me, I would love Jungle Boy to take the title of MJF. Like, it
would be cool.
Months from now, they have history. They're two pillars. I would love to see Jungle Boy be the one to take it off. Because, like you said, he's floating around, but he's a guy you build around. Jungle Jack Perry he was one of the AEW guys you target is like, it's Darby, MJF, Sammy, and also Jungle Boy.
Yeah, no, you are on the money with it. It would be cool. I don't know. They got to find something for the kid to do. He's talented, and they fucking they put him over like crazy, and now he's just like hanging out of catering, eating fucking wings and tofu. I don't know. It sucks, but listen. It was cool to see him out here. It's good match. Like I said, it wasn't a bad match. I just got no love for Brian Cage, and I felt like it was like this could have been on Dark. Nobody would have gave a shit.
So the Cage we did like was Christian coming back and hearing his music hit, underrated theme, kind of slaps. In my opinion, the theme kind of goes hard, and seeing him pull that off. Clearly, we're going to get Jungle Boy versus Christian at the pay-per-view, close that loop, let them go off to do something else. But Christian was a sight for sore eyes a little bit. I was kind of excited to see him back.
Yeah, no, listen, how can you not love Christian? And the music is definitely a banger. Very, very great. I love the use of the TNA themes, man. I mean, you have to be able to fucking utilize that shit. Even Jeff Jarrett's, man, when it comes out, you're just like, hell yeah, like you're ready for it. Yeah. So it was cool. Listen, it's not Christian in the main event picture at all which I'm happy about. So it'll be awesome to tie that feud back. Maybe we'll get Luchasaurus at the pay-per-view coming out and fucking some shit up or turning on Christian. Yeah, and with new gear.
Well, hopefully this is the end of the Christian Jungle Boy thing and let Jungle Boy go off to do something different. But it feels like, again, almost they're picking up where they left off. And maybe if Christian never got hurt, we would have ended it at All Out. But I don't know. It's weird. I feel like pausing these storylines, much like they did with Wardlow and Samoa Joe, and then picking them back up down the road. It's a weird way to do the storytelling. I don't know if it's like a fast track to build more momentum between two competitors. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like a 2-year storyline like we have, with all the shit going on, especially because they're a young company and shit like that. So I don't know. Well, dude, it's microwavable booking. You put it on ice for a little bit, and you pop in the microwave. It gets hot. No one says it's good. You ever heat pizza up in the microwave? It sucks. Like, yeah, sometimes like, is it edible? Is it hot? Yes, but that's not how you prefer pizza. You got to eat it fresh, man. When right out of that pizza is the stone oven.
That is a fucking damn good analogy. I love it, man. Yeah. So we got Hangman, Kip Sabian. Awesome to see Sabian out working a higher tier match. I think the guy's fantastic in the ring. Yeah. Very cool. I don't know. Page is kind of doing his thing. This Mox Page thing's kind of weird. It's good, but it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, for Page being hurt, I mean, the match went longer than it probably would have if he wasn't hurt. So Kip got some offense. And again, this had a lot of picture-in-picture. So that was an issue. But obviously, the post-match was the full story here with BCC and stuff. But, honestly, the match was just there. It was nice to see Kip on TV. And this is sort of, again, this is cool because we're seeing guys we haven't seen, sort of what we wanted on Dynamite, some talent that wasn't being used. But again, enhancement talent. You knew Hangman was going over. No matter if they would have cut his arm off in the back, Hangman was going over. It doesn't matter. But Kip wasn't winning this match. So again, I asked the question, what was the point of the match? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I guess it goes to just the program afterwards when, Blackpool comes out and they start talking shit. My favorite part of the whole thing was Evil Uno coming out and going, Dark Order ain't afraid of you. I fucking
a little edge on Uno for the first time in a while.
Rocking the Brody suit.
Yeah.
It really, I felt it the second I seen him hit the ramp, because it was like, Evil Uno's always wearing random shit, but like getting him back in the suit, kind of being, fuck that, get in line, guys. Like, we got shit to do. Like, I like that Uno, and I thought it was awesome. Mox just Texas death and doesn't really say anything else. Like, especially after just doing a Texas death match. It's weird.
So again, so we're gonna have a Texas death match on the pay-per-view and an Iron Man match. Both are historically long matches. Obviously, Iron Man, we know it's 60 minutes. A Texas death match. We saw them do it a few times in AEW. Obviously, Lance Archer and Mox being like the most notable one,
and probably the best one. Yeah,
it has to be a pin, or I think it's a pin, and then the guy stays down for another 10 seconds. So that match itself could be what's going to keep either one of these guys down for a pin and then another 10 seconds. It could be that could be a 30-minute match.
Yeah, I'll easily say it's going to be a 30-minute match. It has to be. Interested to see. So is it just Mox fighting, or is it going to be everybody in a Texas death match? Like
it's Mox and Hangman. They announced with the graphic, and then we'll talk about Dynamite in a sec. But he's wrestling Evil Uno next week, where Evil Uno is going to get he's going to pay for his sins this week.
I hope they give Evil Uno some shine on that though. You fucking guy deserves
He'll
it.
make Moxley bleed. That will be the rub for
Yeah,
him.
but he's such a goddamn good worker, man. We don't see enough Evil Uno anymore. Like we feel like what's the Dark Order kind of what's Preston Vance left, and the other guys fucking what is Alan Angels went to TNA. Like it's just kind of like they're on TV, but they're just there. Another group of guys that like give me the Beaver Boys, man. I want to see.
John Silver had so much momentum for a bit there.
Yeah,
and it felt like he could have been TNT champion. At this point, it's comical because he's on Dark at this point.
Yeah,
there's so many guys that it's like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And Dark Uno, I mean Evil Uno and the Dark Order at large, they don't even have any momentum because they've been sitting in the corral waiting to be let out. So it's nice to see them released in a meaningful way, even if it's for a one-off.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I love the heat coming out from Evil Uno. I like him kind of like telling Hangman to shut the fuck up. Like, no, we're done with you telling me like you don't want my help. And like that was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice to see Hangman's got his cronies back, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. I was always a big Dark Order guy. I will fucking I'll love him forever.
And I love the tie back with Hangman too. This is not WWE. They're remembering the story, and he's back, even though they haven't been on TV together in a while. There is the tie together, so I do enjoy that when Hangman needs someone back there with them, and BCC being loosely tied together still too is nice, even though they all have their own programs going on.
Yeah, no, so it's a cool. I wish it was like a, give us a fucking Anarchy in the Arena with Hangman and Dark Order.
I honestly thought they might have been doing like maybe it's just my WWF brain right now when they did the huge 8-man tag at No Way Out that we're going to be reviewing on Friday. Shout out to Shot Nostalgia. That would have been fucking really fun, I think, if you had Dark Order versus BCC in a big banger match. But
yeah,
as we mentioned, you can't end the Moxley and Hangman feud on a roll-up. It has to be definitive, and I don't know who goes over, but I think after we can do a little bit of Survivor Series fun with the two teams.
Yeah, I'm here for it, however it plays out. Give me it. I want more evil, naughty Uno. I love it.
It's fire.
Right, and then we have our main event. No Mark Henry tonight. No, it's time. We're going right into it. We got Tony Storm. Ruby
I'm gonna hit, dude. Come on, I'm gonna
dude.
Hit
Go ahead, go for it.
Come on. For the main event.
I wish he had his bone cruncher in his hand as he was saying.
I should just put that over here always, so I have it always looking at me with the hat on. I have it downstairs in my basement. I can go grab it.
It's the best.
He's at least still angry. He's telling someone over a glass of scotch, like, this motherfucker was ripping on my Jack Specific. That shit's special to me.
Yeah, I had the Dr. Death body. Who else were they going to give it to? Oh, it's great, man. It's fucking, listen, it still had the Mark Henry quality that we needed. This was an okay main event. I didn't think it was anything terrible. I didn't think it was anything good. It kind of left for more. I was wanting more. I don't know. Yeah. It was a weird way for a weird transition in the slap fights, which I fucking I get hooked the first 8 minutes of that every time. I'm like, man, I should be setting up, and I'm like, I just want to see somebody get knocked out.
Dude, I'll be honest with you before I get into my commentary of this match. If slap fight was presented in a more athletic way, I probably would keep me around, because when they're first setting up and they're showing like people getting ready at the stand, they lose me when they do the UFC Ultimate Fighter thing when they're like talking in the back, like,
hate that. Yeah,
I hate that stuff. Once they do that, they probably would grab me for an hour if they were just doing people slapping each other in the face for a full hour.
I'm 1,000% behind that.
Because I can't find the remote. I'm sitting on it. I'm waiting for a half hour for the wrap up to come on. I have something to watch. But once they start talking in the back, like I was really upset, like I'm just trying to work on my slap, I don't care. I don't care.
And what, like, the least manly thing that you could get a group of jacked ass dudes and together, like, yeah, we were working on our slaps, okay, and it was very hard. And
dudes get slapped. Like the one I think was like 2 weeks ago. I don't know any of their names, so if anyone in the chat knows their names, please let me know. The guy with the long hair kept having an infraction where like he was moving to, I think he was flinching.
Yeah, I see that one.
Flinching, and they had to keep slapping in his face, and the guy kept hitting him in his in his nose. It was horrible. The whole thing was just, man, the slow mo. But again, athletic competition that might Vince Russo, if he saw this in 1998, would be like, bro, I got this idea for a tournament.
WrestleMania 13.
WrestleMania 13 slap fest. Dr. Death versus John Layfield by his shoot name, not Blackjack. It's his shoot name because it's a slap.
I would pay to watch that. It would be great, man. That was when Vince said it still had some good booking behind.
Thank God.
Man, could you imagine? But yeah, no. I don't know what they were really doing. I get they were trying to see if Ruby was going to be the third man, but like they didn't pull any trigger here. It was weird. And then it turned out to the girls just going like, "Stop it! Don't pull me in the middle of this shit." And it was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the match was all over the place. Didn't think it had any sort of cohesion. It was a weird spot in the card. I feel like the audience was a little bit let down when this was the main event. And again, they're going into Rampage, so it's fine. They're going to get more action. But for us, I mean, I do enjoy the story, like at its core. That like obviously we don't know who Ruby's going to side with. But at her core, she is a outsider, but she is wanting to be around the AEW originals, and nobody knows what her true intentions are. She's playing both sides. But obviously, at the end of it, she's interested in the AEW Women's Championship, and I think that's eventually what's going to be the bane of whatever relationship's existence. So I think she's probably going to target Jamie Hayter in the title. I think that's applying a lot of thought into the story. It shouldn't be that much, insightful essay writing to figure out what they're doing here. That's what it feels like. You have to look a little bit deeper. It's not as spelled out for you, and but to be honest with you, it's not that interesting. I think that's also part of it. It just I'm trying. There's a lot of interesting characters here, though. I mean, you got a lot of people at play with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm, Ruby. They're all great characters. And on top of that, you have Saraya. But it makes me think like it's a good thing Mercedes didn't come here because she'd be in the mix of this shit too. And it's like, what would be the point?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I praise the women's division right now. I think they are the hottest that they've been since the inception of AEW. But tonight was not it.
You see Ruby beating Jamie for the title. I don't know if I've not been impressed with Ruby at all since she's come to AEW. She has not worked a good match. I mean, she's been very, very sloppy. And I don't know if like her WWE run wasn't full of work rate centric matches. So it's not like we expected that, but maybe it's because the girls in AEW are working at a really like stiff Japanese women level. Like she has no flow with Jamie, with Britt. Like they have no chemistry. Like that's the word, no chemistry.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's just an off point. I don't know. And for them to close the show out on this was just a weird decision. Yeah. I don't know. This could have been, close the first hour out on this. Do they even book like that anymore? Do we book out the first hour and go into the second anymore? Shot of nostalgia, man.
Warzone.
I would love if AEW did Dynamite for an hour, Rampage for the second hour.
And what do you do with Friday? Make that Ring of Honor?
Fuck, why not? Why not?
You're on fire, man. That hat is like, what is that? What's in the hat, man?
It's the glow in the dark logo, man.
It's the booking hat.
Yeah, it's the booker's
so
hat,
beautiful.
Man.
But it's all the knowledge of shot nostalgia just swirling around. I got ECW 95, I got WCW 96, and my final Infinity Stone is WWF 98. So I can book all this shit. Call BELCASTER, guys. You need his insight. He can give you some consultation, Tony Khan.
It's okay, and I'll do it for fun. It'll be good. Yeah, I don't know. I was just the whole thing. There were so many weird spots in this. The spray paint on the ass to the the butt face, whatever you want to call it, the running fucking ass to the face in the corner.
The Umaga move.
That's what it is. That's but it's like that was dumb. That had no mentality behind it. Like, let's spray paint the girl that I'm friends with to go hit this girl with a L for loser on my butt, and then it's gonna stay on my butt for the rest of the match. Like, it's dumb. Listen, yo. That's it. The Acclaimed have arrived, man. They were great tonight.
The cards for Rampage and Dynamite and Revolution. Let's run through them quick. For Rampage on Friday, it's a special start time, 7 p.m. Eastern because of the NBA All-Star game. They have the balls to go head-to-head with Shot Nostalgia. I dare you. Let's see who does better. Dare you. All right, so we have the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks defending their trios titles against AR Fox and Top Flight. We'll get to that in a second. Daniel Garcia wrestling, Ricky Starks, Jade Cargill wrestling, Vert Vixen, the TBS title, and then Dustin Rhodes taking on Swerve Strickland. So a lot of matches announced. Most notably is the 2 title matches. The one that is in question at this point, is there a chance AR Fox and Top Flight win these trios titles? It seems like it's possible, man. I'm putting it out there. I think it's possible.
I would love it. would absolutely love it. But I like a mix up like that. Like you could hot potato titles when it's appropriate. It's not always the best decision, and it does take some heat off the belt. But this would be a fun one to hot potato. It would
Yeah.
give it to them. Have FTR show up and fucking screw them over. I got working boots on.
You got your working boots on. I think that there's been some criticism about the lack of story for the Elite going into Revolution. And maybe you just take the titles off, and maybe they feel again this is sort of they're handcuffed by these championships, and maybe they want the Bucks to go off do something different and Kenny to have his own program. Because being honest, I know Meltzer was talking about this in Wrestling Observer Radio, but it's true. Kenny Omega has done absolutely nothing since he's come back. He had a very cemented story to come back to with a career-threatening injury. He's coming back. He should be having aspirations for the world title, had no intentions of going after MJF. So he's been stuck in the mud. Yeah. Maybe what they just need is to get these trios titles off and let AR Fox and Top Flight go off and take those titles, and let the Elite go off and do something different. It seems weird. You're going to do it 2 weeks in a row. You're going to have these two teams go at it again and have the Elite go over. Something strange is in the air. And I think we're going to get Top Flight and AR Fox winning the championships. And I can't say I'm mad about it. I think I kind of want it. I'm rooting for it.
I don't know, man.
Fox is the truth, man. I think AR Fox is fucking awesome.
Change the title so close to the pape too. It's
there's no program in place though. There's no program.
There isn't. No, that's very true. It's on a who gives a shit mentality. I miss best bout Machine Kenny. Give me the Kenny Omega that runs house and just throw him in a bunch of dream matches. That was my favorite rendition of Kenny Omega last year. I did get him with the championship was great, but seeing him go up against BRYAN DANIELSON, even Christian, it was an awesome match. Like it's cool to see him get these new flavorings. I think that's where he fits best right now till he goes after the title. It would be cool. I want more dream matches, man. Give me Kenny versus Claudio. What the fuck?
Yeah, he looks better than ever. Like he looks completely ready to go, and it feels like a waste of Kenny Omega, and especially off of that Will Ospreay match, they have not weaved in that story at all. Coming off, he's the IWGP United States champion. Not that they need to have him come out with the title or do anything with it, but there's no momentum based on that. Wrestle Kingdom happened, one of the probably the match of the year when it's all said and done. Probably was match of the year, and he comes in and. I know there's been visa issues. He hasn't been on Dynamite, all this stuff, but there really has been no plan, no story, nothing. They just plopped the trios titles back on them after the best of 7, and there's been nothing else. So what is the function of the titles? I really think the trios titles should be on Top Flight and AR Fox, and have them just start a program with House of Black and let them go into the pay-per-view in 2 weeks.
I'm so here for that. we need more House of Black. Always. Next week, Rampage looks pretty good. Dynamite looks good. I'm looking forward to the cards, man. They've been killing it lately. They've been on a hot streak. Today was kind of a little dip in the sand, but it's still not a bad episode by any means. Just does not live up to the quality of like the last 3 have been banger after banger. So good.
So Dynamite next week. We only have 2 matches announced, as I mentioned before. John Moxley will be taking on Evil Uno, and we get that traditional tag team battle royal with all those teams I mentioned before. Pulling for Butcher and the Blade, I'm going to think maybe the Lucha Brothers win this match, or maybe Menard and Parker in this match, mix it up. But that brings us to Revolution, and we have 4 matches announced, possibly 5 if they're going to announce Jungle Boy and Christian, which I feel like is obvious at this point. But we have the Gun Club versus the Acclaim versus the 2 winning teams of the upcoming Battle Royals. Is this the decision you'd make? Because it makes the faces look sort of dumb. When you have this imprinted rematch already in your contract, why would you use it in a fatal 4-way match where, I mean, maybe the logic is you hope a weaker team gets in, you don't have to pin the Guns, but it makes no sense to me. Why wouldn't you just want to have that one-on-one rematch you deserve? And
if you get a weaker team in there and you don't pin the Guns, what are you doing? We're going to go to the next pay-per-view, Acclaim versus fucking the Gun Club again. Like I'm good with seeing them wrestle maybe 2 more times. Like I love the Gun Club. I love the Acclaim. I don't know booking wise what you do. Why do a 4-way? Why not at least a 6 or give me 3 teams, not 4 teams. That should have been like the winner of the 2 battle royals fucking fight each other to see who goes into the show.
Wrestles my Dynamite or something.
Yeah, like why not? Fucking throw it on Rampage. Give Rampage some more ratings. Damn it. I just don't know what they're doing. Like like the Acclaim thing, that could have been them versus the Ass Boys could have been the next week on Dynamite. Why did it have to, you know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, this has all the energy of WrestleMania 20 when they put that Cruiserweight Classic together where it was like 20 Cruiserweights in a row. Like, just get them a WrestleMania payday. It feels like they just want more guys on the pay-per-view, but there's got to be more creative ways to do this. And just, like we just mentioned, there's no trios program started, and you're just throwing two random teams in. So how do we not have a trios program started? But the tag team section of the card should be done. You have it's made. It's the Guns versus the Acclaim for the titles, and that's the rematch. People want to see it. The Guns cheated. It's the right match to do. We should have probably had the trios battle royal to figure out who would be facing I don't know. It just weird. But we also have Moxley versus Adam Page in a Texas death match, Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the TNT title, and then of course the creme de la creme, MJF defending his Triple B AEW World Championship against Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Gonna be an awesome night of wrestling. 60 minutes. I personally love Iron Man matches. I some of them in the history. I mean, most notably, I think about Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. I mentioned Benoit versus Triple H on Raw. Of course, the original Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 12. But there's been a decent amount of good Iron Man matches. I also think back to Triple H versus The Rock. Back in, I think it was 2000, when I think, it was the Biker Taker debut, Judgment Day. So there's been some good Iron Man matches out there, and it's not for those fans that have, some attention issues where they can't focus on the wrestling. But I think there's going to be enough shenanigans with MJF being a very interesting character. It's going to keep people engaged for 60 minutes, and that's the challenge, really. The challenge is also the cardio in the match for these guys, but it's also keeping people enthralled in the story. And I think you booked it perfectly. Have Danielson go down 3-0 and then build from there. That could be, because that's never been done. It's always been building up towards that final fall, but maybe having someone chase towards the end, that could be very, very interesting, especially with the way Bryan Danielson emotes with his face and the build up, and have him just battle that shoulder and just come up short can make people hate MJF a little bit more.
100%. That's going to be like just a bloody, beat the hell out of each other match too. And it's the best way to get sympathy on somebody like that is to get MJF the lead right off the bat. Doesn't matter. It'll be great storytelling. Book it, damn it. No. But if we're doing a casino thing with the tag teams too, does that mean there's going to be a tag team Joker?
I would imagine. Yeah. I mean, casino, that's the rule. They pull the cards out so that we have a mystery team. You have one in mind.
Do we see FTR come back?
But then they come back in this match. Oh, that could be kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah,
then they should have just made it a triple threat match, because what is Butcher and the Blade doing in there, or what are the Lucha Brothers doing? But I guess you just piqued my interest a little bit, Tony Khan. You did a little bit.
I might be going to get a porcelain bottle of tequila myself for Revolution. There's really rich storytelling with that though too. You have FTR coming, you got the Ass Boys. That's going to be great. I mean, selling off that last year. I mean, they were the people that set up the last match with FTR and the Briscoes. Oh,
let's fucking go.
Punk knows. He's he's looking at those cupcakes. He's like, damn right. I'm here for it, man.
I'm into that. And I honestly didn't think about FTR, but it seems obvious now because of the Guns post on Twitter and holding
Dax keeps calling it out. He's like, man, if Tony wants us back, I'd love to come back. Tony, look, it's Tony. I'd be here for it, man.
I should just plug the Dax podcast, because I know every time Tom's on here, he's talking about it. It is a good podcast, but Tom seems to be being paid. Check Tom's bank account. Is he being paid by Dax Harwood every time he's on here? Check it out. It's the best podcast I've ever listened to.
That's what all those Blue Tubes charges were. Oh wait, no, that's what charges. Not he wasn't getting paid. No,
very famous, very evil.
It's a good podcast. It's not the best podcast in the world, but it's good.
No, it's a solid podcast. I've enjoyed. I enjoyed most notably the one about the NXT Takeover one. That was probably my favorite.
That one was great
so far.
Yeah, I've only caught like 3 of them, but I loved what I listened to.
He's a great talker. He's a great storyteller. I think that he's made for podcasting. It just seems it's weird to have an active guy doing it. I know it's kind of the norm now. Jericho obviously being the most famous, but podcasts were usually like after, and it feels weird to like go back in the locker room after revealing all the dirt, even though he stays neutral. But it's just interesting. Like, I don't know. He
plays that super like your girlfriend's friend that's trying to get you in trouble, like kind of like, oh yeah, CM Punk's great, you know. But
Exactly.
but no, we don't like CM Punk, but like he gave us gift cards. Okay, it was really nice.
He got Starbucks gift cards.
Yeah,
All is forgiven with the Starbucks gift cards.
goddamn right. I'll take a frappuccino and a croissant any day, man. Heals all wounds. Yeah, man. I mean, so next week's looks good. This week's was decent. I hope next week's and Rampage are better than this week's Dynamite because they were on a fucking hot roll, man. I was really enjoying it. Keep it up, man. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, this was nice to be back on here with you. And I know I'm not usually able to get here because of obligations elsewhere, but I was able to hop on when you were in desperate need. I was able to find a way to get on here, and I love working with you. So anytime I have the chance to, I want to get that extra hour in and talking AEW television. Why not? It was a good time.
Absolutely, man. No, it was always a good time. And we get to shill the fuck out of probably the number one flavor over besides the flagship. We can't throw the flagship under the bus because those our gods, right? But oh my god, a shot of nostalgia this week is going to be off the charts. I mean, we're coming off. We're hot into 1998 already. Where the stars are aligning. It's getting to be a good time. Or what do we got? We got No Way Out this week.
Yeah, we got 2 episodes of Raw. We got No Way Out, the first one ever. It's No Way Out of Texas, and it's the first No Way Out of its existence, but it's in your house, so same format. And we're right in the mix of Shawn Michaels being absolutely decimated emotionally, physically, all of it. He can't work. So we're trying to build up to a WrestleMania main event where we don't know if our champion's going to be able to work. And obviously Mike Tyson's the biggest story. I think the newsletter is just all about Mike Tyson, and rightfully so. It changed the scope of where WWF was. It was such a huge get. Paying him $6 million paid off. You know, you can thank you can thank for what they were able to build under the Mike Tyson build and get Austin over to the point. And it's kind of, who knows what was the case of getting Austin over to the point he was, but I wouldn't change anything. So people would say Austin was already over, but I think Tyson only expedited that to take him to marks he probably didn't even know he could get to. Crowning moment, WrestleMania 14, we're getting there, and then we're going to be on a run, man. I think 1998 summer is where we're really going to hit. I remember that SummerSlam being one of the best between the ladder match between Rock and Triple H for the IC title, and Highway to Hell at MSG is one of the best pay-per-views, so I'm looking forward to that. I know there's a lot of good 98 stuff.
Feeling it, man.
To me, like, that's where it really gets going. Then all the way in November, too, with Deadly Games with the tournament for the title, and Rock turns heel, so it feels like two different worlds. We're like shaking off the skin like a snake of 1997 and getting into 1998. There's really like a huge divide. We get points like, wow, absolutely an amazing year of wrestling.
No, listen, man, I'm super excited, and it's just a blast to cover it, to watch the old episodes. I mean, you really get the feels of like where they kind of, like you just said, where they were digging themselves out of 97. Then it just gets whitening hot. And I mean, we're here in 2023. They're still fucking running strong. So make sure you guys tune in on Friday for a shot of nostalgia. Check out the turnbuckletavern.com. Get all your stuff there, man. Hit that notification. Ooh, look at you on game with the fucking the advertisements. I love it. But yeah, go to turnbuckletavern.com. All those little icons down there, man. Just go follow us everywhere. Make sure you ring the bell on right here on the YouTube or wherever you're watching us. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow us along the journey. I mean, we have the best podcast schedule. I mean, for fans for free. No Patreon, no paywall behind anything. We're just having a good time. So guys, if you haven't already, which I know you have, but go check out the turnbuckletavern.com. Call the tavern. God, you want to hear yourself tomorrow morning on the flagship? I know I do. 304-404-2004. Get your ass on the show. Talk shit about wrestling. Leave your grievances on the air of the flagship, man. I mean, it's always a blast. Fun hearing new people call in too. I've always enjoyed the hotline, man. It's a great concept. Not as juicy, informative as the Mean Gene hotline, but goddamn, it's just as fun.
If someone wants to come breaking some news on the flagship, I'm sure they'd welcome it, because as you know, and as the two bad chats have mentioned, they cold listen to this on the air. So it could be anything. They don't know what it is until they listen. So
yeah,
you want to call in and talk, wrestling, or you want a fantasy book, you want to say how you'd book the Sammy, Cody, and Roman situation, they'll give you as much time as you want. You want a 15-minute segment. You want to have you know what? Colton was someone who called, and he called consistently, had great takes. He was on the debate, and now him and I are Honor Society partners. So,
You never know what happens.
call the Tavern. That's what you should do.
Missed opportunity. You got a promo you want to cut a promo. Cut a promo on Hawk. Everybody wants to cut a promo on Hawk. It's the fun thing to do. Those goddamn bean sprout quesadillas ain't pushing nothing without you guys. So
you better put over the Maven theme tonight. I swear, man. I swear it better be Maven going over.
I hope so. In my heart and soul, I'm hoping Maven's getting pushed, man. It's a bang. It's a low key banger of a theme. So
I'm glad you agree with me because I felt like I was on an island by myself. But Maven's theme song, invitational or not, one of the best theme songs.
Listen, and that was it stands out from a few years of where WWE theme songs were all like, it was almost like AI was making them. Everything was like,
Red Fury. It was like Randy Orton's theme, burning my life.
It was everything, man. It was all power chords and bar chords, man. But yeah, man, Maven had a banger of a theme. So you guys got to check it out. Make sure you listen to the flagship tomorrow morning, and you can find out if Maven takes the cake, because I think he should.
It's not the finals yet, but I think the matchup will be Maven. I don't know who he's facing, but I know it wasn't last week. Maven's going. Hawk, I swear, man, come on.
And he's probably like, fuck that. Now I'm not voting for Mayhem.
He's not watching right now. He's waiting for the chat. Actually, the Chads might have called him, judging by the time. Maybe they're about to call him, but he's not watching this right now.
He's watching the aliens fly around, man. He's having a good time.
He's watching Slapfest, whatever it's called. Slap.
Man, they need Joe Rogan on this shit. It'll be great.
He's with Sheena and Seth right now at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
So, what an unlikely tandem. I love the Chick Foley crew and Hawk have a joined. That's wrestling fandom doing its work of bringing people together. I love it.
Love it. Absolutely love it, man. Well, dude, Shill, you got anything else to add on to the card for the night? I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah. Obviously shot of nostalgia we talked about, but we have wrestling tonight coming up on Monday. Check out the episode that just aired. Audio only. Well, not audio only. The audio dropped on Tuesday morning, but Monday night we dropped a video. This Friday, Visits the Tavern whenever we finish Shot of Nostalgia. It's going to be airing directly after it, probably a couple minutes. The Perfect Ratio, Adonis Stone from Remarkable Wrestling, who's also ETU, up-and-coming wrestler here in the Northeast. Check it out. Adonis Stone is going to be on, joining me for an hour-long conversation. We have other Visits the Tavern coming up. I'm doing a live in-person interview with Remarkable Wrestling coming up. It's going to be dropping midweek sometime next week because we're building up towards Better Than the Best 2, Steel Cage Warzone, where I have the honor and privilege to be doing the ring announcing for what is a War Games match and a 30-man Rumble, and they crowning the first ever women's champion. But I'm going to be sitting down with Kono Kapuchia, Gabe Sky, the champion. We're going to be sitting down, filming it like just with a camera in a studio, and I'm going to try to edit it down and air it as a visit. It's the first time I ever did it, so hopefully it comes out okay. And then we're going to be having a whole bunch of other guys on. Hopefully I get Fight or Die on at some point. Sean Knight's going to be joining me as well. And then Zach Ramsey's, the Miasma, is going to be joining me as well on Visits the Tavern. So we have a whole bunch of drops coming up. You find it on Acefield Retro's audio channel, the video. You can also find it here on the Turnbuckle Tavern page. But audio drops always a week after on a Wednesday. So Brother Greatness just dropped today. So if you guys are looking for audio to listen to, check out Brother Greatness from Wrestling Open. Like, he's fantastic. That's pretty much it. But yeah, if you guys are in the area, February 24th, go to get your tickets in my link tree. Remarkable Wrestling, support independent wrestling, support everything they're doing with Remarkable. It's going to be a great card. You do not want to miss it. 5-on-5 Steel Cage Warzone. It's going to be traditional War Games. And on top of that, you get a 30-man Rumble. And on top of that, we crown a women's champion. So what else can you ask for? Come out a Friday night, have some beers, bring some friends. Let's watch some live wrestling.
That sounds like the true WrestleMania, because you would think WrestleMania would have every match possible, like of the cool ones. So you get the Rumble, you get War Games. Like give me that on Mania, man. That's 2 nights. We got enough to do anyway. But sounds so damn awesome. Can't wait. You guys just again check out the Turnbuckle Tavern, and until next time, it's been a fucking blast. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Later.